All right, so we got an amazing panel here. Crypto Mondays, we're not going to do these long lecture style things. I know it says 60 minutes, but we're going to cut that in half.
Sounds good.
Yeah? All right. But not only we're going to cut it in half, we're going to cut it in half because we are able to get the alpha. We are able to get all the deep knowledge. We are able to have a good deep conversation within 30 minutes. And we have everybody that's in Web3 and crypto has been on Crypto Mondays. So I think that we can handle it. What do you guys think? Yeah?
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then we go have VIP drinks upstairs at the rooftop. That sounds good? All right, so we're going to have a little round of introductions. Introduce yourself, what you're doing in this space. All right, so everybody knows where everybody's at. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you, sir. So my name is Scharrer. I work for the New Foundation, where I lead the capital market strategy. So really anything that has to do with VC relations and bringing institutional capital into the ecosystem. I've been with the New Foundation now for roughly 2 years. I spent a lot of time on Solana previously. And originally I have a background in traditional finances and 4 years in asset management, investment banking, and private equity.
Yeah, Martin, I'm a lawyer at Woollard, Austria, actually focusing on fintechs and everything crypto related. We do a lot of work in terms of media licensing, but also a lot of work in terms of token projects and data projects.
Hi there, I'm Astrid. I'm founder and CIO of SMAPE Capital. We're a crypto-native Web3 fund and we invest in pre-seed stage ventures.
I think I've got your microphone.
Okay, you guys share the him and her.
Professor of International Management at Modul University, Vienna. I've been doing research in blockchain since 2017, and I've also been involved in a couple of industry projects. So in that space, you always need to make sure that you're close to the industry.
Wow, okay, I love the diversity of this panel. I was super excited when Ed asked me to host it because, you know, like last year I did 40 events in 30 different countries. We had everybody on there, ICP, Cardano, all these guys, the top level guys. And now they're doing all great during this new alt season. Near, we're in really close with Near. So we had all this, and I heard all these different things and all these different stories in 2024. And now I'm excited to see what these experts think. We have a nice diversity range of everything from legal to financing to academic and to degen. And so we have all the different ranges. I'm excited to hear what's going to happen in 2025. Okay, we know what happened in 2024. All good for crypto, I'd say.
Of course.
Okay, yeah. Woo, ATH, baby. All right.
Another one.
That's it, another one. Okay, let's just cut to the chase. What's the next top for Bitcoin? Oh, what's the next top? Oh, he's into Solana. Okay, I'm going to ask everybody else.
Let's start here.
Let's start at the other side. What's going to be the top, and then when is everything going to fall apart?
It's not going to fall apart, but the next top is going to be 117K.
170K, I got 170. I got 170 going once, going twice. What's going to be?
120!
Well, we're into pre-seed, but we hear from liquid funds that they project actually that with this bull market, that we will see an all-time high of between $270,000 or $570,000.
That's, oh yeah, and she's an investor, you all, so we're talking 275K. I got 270, 270, 271, 271, 271. Can I get 300? Can I get 300, 350, 350, going once, going twice, 350? All right, what do you think, baby?
I'm a lawyer, you know, so no investment.
We will have to consider that very deeply in our further consideration. That's going to cost you $400. Thank you. Okay.
I would say 150.
150, 150? All right. She said 250.
Yeah, NFA, but I would say between 150 to 200. That's my prediction.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. 300. 30 million. All right. So basically, but what we have here is we have the panel agreed on that shit's going up. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, we can get all high and hyped up, but let me tell you all something. I've been in crypto since 2014. I'm one of the original people that invented NFT technology. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs, I've seen the ups and downs, We created Crypto Mondays. Sometimes in the low season, or the bulls or the bears, there's like 5 people that show up to Crypto Mondays. You know what I mean? Like even in cities like LA, San Francisco, New York, man. But now when it gets all hyped up, everybody comes in, right? But this is not the time to make all the big money, y'all. It's when it's when it's down. And then you have the projects that are like Solana and Near that just come up and they take over. We know that Bitcoin is the big boss and the granddaddy of all cryptos, right? But what happens oftentimes is that there's a split and then the alts take over, all right? What do you guys think is going to happen 2025? Is Bitcoin still going to be Big Daddy King and go up the highest, or are we going to see like a season of alts and meme coins continue for a while? All right, go ahead.
I mean, I think that if we look at previous cycles, I would expect that, or hope that there is an alt cycle as well, an alt season roughly coming in Q1, Q2. So, I mean, I'm obviously biased. That's might be wishful thinking. But I do think, that the one trend that we will see is that there's a lot more institutional adoption. So I think we'll see less, or hopefully we'll see less volatility. That means on both sides, right? But like with the ETF approvals, I think, the space is getting more institutionalized, so that's my expectation. As to specific alts, NFA, I can't say anything, don't get me into trouble. But yeah, I would expect we'll see it in the fall season.
Is Don't Get Me Into Trouble a new meme coin that I can invest in? If not, man, let's spin it up. No financial. Hey, that's a good name for a meme coin, right? Not financial advice. Let's spin it up. Okay. Yeah, it's a ticker. That's a ticker. Go ahead. Continue.
I mean, I think also like with the regulatory landscape evolving and NewTech especially taking full applicability at the beginning of next year, January or 30th December, I think that we will actually see a lot of new ICOs, because that's also what we see already in practice now, that like people are trying to like draw white papers and really use ICOs again as like I think we will have a revival of ICOs actually next year, at least in Europe, based on NewTech.
I think in one of the first presentations, one of the speakers said that people sort of were unhappy with how altcoins performed. This is why they went into meme coins. I see it actually differently. I think that meme coins drew a very different kind of crowd into crypto that we didn't have before, because it is very playful, it's for the young people, so you can see a lot of Gen Z people actually entering now, which is really great. And I think they are now really looking into more serious investments, because meme coins is 99.9% trash. So if you have to play around a little fun, then you should really have had this experience. So I think 2025 will be a really great year, and we can see within our portfolio as well. We've only had just 2 projects out of 25 launch, and we're already in 1/3 of the fund. So basically, and we write really small checks, so you can see that the performance of altcoins is really picking up now.
Yeah, usually first it's Bitcoin, then it's altcoin season, but honestly for me, speculation doesn't really matter because I've already got my Lamborghini. I mean, yeah, honestly, I have it here, it's easy. You just go to the internet and buy it, so for me, it's a green one. So. And what I'm really interested in is all those applications you can build on blockchain. And for that, it doesn't really matter how high Bitcoin is, how high the altcoin is. It's more about fundamentals, what you can do with the technology. And what we have seen before, we've heard about today applications for sustainability, for doing something good, and that's also my passion in this space.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, right. So great. Let's get on to more serious topics and about blockchain and use cases that it has, right? We've seen the rise of real-world assets, RWAs. We've seen the rise of DePin, right, decentralized infrastructure. We've seen the rise of different ways of using the blockchain for different purposes, And what are your thoughts on this? And we've seen the rise of AI. Now, interestingly enough, I used to be a linguist in my former days, and I used a lot of AI. But now AI is in the picture. And we actually even had a crypto Oracle accelerator, decentralized AI, and at ETHCC we did an event. I was a host at ETHCC in Brussels about decentralized AI. One of the first people I had on Crypto Mondays was Ben Gortzel. He's been around forever. SingularityNet, Fetch, Anybody big Fetch fans? AI. So we got AI, and we got real world assets. We got a decentralized infrastructure. What are some of the macroeconomic trends that are happening that you see that are important to look at? And what kind of projects or ideas do you see in the blockchain space, you know, addressing some of these trends that are happening? Anybody?
Yeah, I think DePin is still something that is very early, so we will see a continued adoption also from institutionals there. Also for real-world assets, stablecoins was a big thing. In general, sort of institutional adoption, custody solutions, wallets, user experience that will make it easier for people to come in. Decentralized science is something that is also picking up slowly, or decentralized healthcare. Like I said, that there are also regulatory rules in that spaces as well, and the infrastructure is just only being built now to enable sort of certain privacy levels there. I think AI is still a big topic. Some people think that AI hype was last year. I disagree with that strongly. I think that blockchain and AI is still quite at the beginning there. We had a little bit of an sort of uptick early in the year because of ChatGPT and Goldman's and stuff and the like. But I think in terms of AI agents, we're still very early, and the platforms are also just being built. AI agents, also if you speak to AI experts, actually also only work on a very narrow use case, so you have to be very, very specific also with large language models and how you actually want to use these agents. So I think this is still sort of a sector that is really interesting. I mean, Fetch has sort of paved the way very early on. It's like an ultra OG projects. There have been a lot of forks that are coming out of it as well. I'm really excited to see sort of what is happening in the coming year around that area.
Yeah, I mean, what we also see is basically, and I think you already touched upon it, like institutional adoption as such, and especially also like traditional finance and credit institutions, investment firms actually trying to explore not only offering crypto services, but also really like applications built on crypto. So what we see actually is we have quite a few established credit institutions that now want to use smart contracts to automate things. And I mean, we have all talked about that like a few years ago already, but now this really the adoption starts and picking up in this TradFi sector, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to ask this question because we only have 30 minutes. Yeah, just last week.
Okay, you're cut off. Next question. No, go ahead, Professor.
Do you know DHOC, the founder of Visa, chaotic organizations, a mix between chaos and order?
Oh, yeah.
That's a very famous book for those of you who haven't read it. It's DHOC, about chaotic. And just a week ago I finished a paper and I took the concept from him, I kind of copied it, and I applied it to economics, what you said in the beginning. I thought about how blockchain and AI can shape organizations, the economy, and societies. We don't have enough time, it's only 30 minutes, I know, but if anyone is interested, I would be happy to share the paper, and I will tell you there are lots and lots of opportunities how those two forces can work together.
Yeah.
Initially I thought AI is more for the creative stuff, for the chaos, and blockchain is more for the order and determinism, but I thought about it and I figured out, no, it could be both, could work both ways. AI can create order, AI can create chaos, and blockchain can do the same. It's highly interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to add?
Yeah, so I think I'm excited about a couple of things tokenization. And Martin actually stole a bit of our thunder. He already talked about a lot of those trends in the first presentation. But I think like tokenization, real-world assets, stablecoins, obviously probably one of the best product market fits in crypto right now. But I'm really excited about how blockchain and AI is coming together. I agree there's probably 90% of BS in that space. But I really think they both need each other, because if you think about AI right now, it's really controlled by a lot of centralized entities. You don't really see what's going into these models, and I'm not saying these centralized players are necessarily evil, but you know, they are always optimizing for profit rather than optimizing for the user. So I do think, you know, we need more user-owned AI and decentralized AI, where, you know, blockchain comes in to verify that the data is actually trustworthy, it cannot be tampered with, and also obviously to feed all these large training models, you need a lot of training data. So blockchain is a good way to share that in a private manner. So really excited about those two trends coming together.
Yeah. Didn't Near just make a big investment in AI? Yeah. Tell us about that. What's going on with Near and AI? Because this might be some alpha.
Yeah, happy to. So not many people know this, but Near actually, which is a layer 1 protocol, it actually started as an AI startup back in the days.
Yeah.
So the co-founder, Ilya Borsukin, is one of the co-authors of Attention is All You Need, which is the paper that Prof followed transformer technology, so basically the T in ChatGPT. And so Near recently announced a new research hub for researchers to build user on AI models. And then also we just released an alpha of an AI assistant. And what's really cool about that is the AI assistant will be able to execute transactions, not just in Web 2, but also in Web 3 across different chains. Because if you think about it, if you have an AI agent, you don't want it to be limited to one chain, right? You want it to execute transactions, swap between different chains without you having to worry about how to bridge assets, how to wrap assets, how to pay native gas tokens, etc. So that's going to be really cool. I think we've seen like some trends here, like Truth Terminal, if some guys who are familiar with that. So we'll see like some more AI agents that are basically acting and like executing intents on behalf of the user, and can trade, even grow social media following, and become like its own, manage your day-to-day life pretty much. And I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay, you're excited about that. Some people are scared about that. When is AI going to take over the trading? How do we know that when we're integrating with somebody that it's not an AI or not? I mean, have you heard about these AI coins that have taken storm? Some of them are in the tens of millions of euros. How does blockchain going to address some of these things that are going to happen? How do we keep blockchain for with crypto for humans and not just let it be taken over by these autonomous AI agents that are working on Near protocol? Education, he said. Okay, that's the audience. We'll say that's the audience's answer. Yeah. Yeah. What's your name?
Mario.
Mario. This is Mario's answer. I agree with Mario. Education makes a big difference. What does the panel say? How do we fight? How do we prevent the more scams coming, more rug pulls, and more bullshit coming out of nowhere? Because of the AI onslaught of taking over. Is it going to take over crypto?
Well, I mean, in general, it's not a bad thing, but it's just the way how you train AI and where the data come from. And I think their blockchain can introduce a lot of transparency. I'm sure some people will probably argue regulation or something.
I would say regulation, of course.
You want to argue? Go ahead. Argue.
No, I would just say, of course, regulation, because as you probably all of them know, we have also the AI Act coming, so all of that is, of course, regulated.
Yeah, tell us. So tell us what's going to happen with crypto.
I don't want to cut you short. Please go ahead.
All right, so let me go for another regulatory question now, since we got the lawyer with the mic. since the law, I don't need a mic because I'm American. No, so now let you guys. I've heard several times in this conversation about institutional adoption and mass adoption and great institutional adoption. We've seen a lot of with the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs in the United States. More institutional adoption. We've seen XRP skyrocket. That's all institutional adoption because these are banks and other people that are behind the scenes investing in XRP that we just don't know about. And so there's a lot more. Now we have big chains like, or big exchanges like BitGet and Bybit considering Austria as headquarters. And we have Bitpanda here already and their connection with Raiffeisen Bank. They're making brokerage and crypto. So we see already in Austria some leadership in that direction. Where is the institutional adoption going to go in 2025? We'll start with you, bro.
Yeah, the thing is that we really see that really credit institutions and institutionals are thinking about entering the crypto market because of the, as you all know, we have the market crypto asset regulation, which will be fully applicable end of this year. And with that, kind of those credit institutions, those like TradFi players, think that crypto gets even more legitimacy, and they start really building their own projects. And maybe just one thing to point out is that we talked about real-world assets already, and in Nika, you have like the asset reference token, which is basically a token that could reference one underlying or a bunch of underlyings. And this is something that especially is interesting for credit institutions and other institutional players, because you can actually have like somewhat of a tokenized derivative product, a token that references gold or whatever. And that's something where we see that there's a lot of institutional interest.
Okay. So not necessarily backed up by Bitcoin as collateralized through Bitcoin, but collateralized through some kind of minerals or some grouping or set.
Basically also by any commodity.
Any commodity. All right. Interesting. All right. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, sure. So I speak with family offices and VCs on a daily basis, and it's become really clear that a lot of the more traditional wealth that I come from originally is now getting more and more interested in crypto. They might not know how and how to deploy funds, how to custody assets, etc. Those are all still question marks, but the sentiment has shifted quite dramatically. Like last year, or like beginning of last year, when you just talk with the family office about crypto, they were like, oh no, like don't get out of the room, like this is all scam. And,
unless you're in Dubai.
right,
Then they're like, come in please.
Right, at least in German-speaking case. But now, it's there are a lot of family offices, private banks, that get pressure from the clients, frankly, to invest into crypto, and are reaching out now. So you really feel that there's more interest, and I think there will be more ETFs launching, so it will become easier and easier for institutions to invest going forward.
I think in general also that there will be more institutional adoption, though it's hard to foresee yet what regulation will actually begin to stifle innovation. So MiCA on the one hand, we do development, is sort of some kind of baseline where also crypto projects get clarity. On the other hand, there are also national regulations which we know which are coming up. For example, in Germany, they already announced that they want it to be much stricter than MiCA. Which means that crypto exchanges in Germany, for example, they cannot even or will not be able to list some of the MiCA compliance sort of things that they see not compliant with German law again, which should be much stricter. So it's a question how that. But that's what we had just 2 weeks ago. It's really crazy what is actually happening there. So you think that MiCA is already sort of doing enough. But I'm looking forward to seeing what actually will come out of the US, because I think there are a lot of really interesting developments happening over there. They already announced also that they want to be working on sort of crypto-friendly regulatory framework to also allow some kind of security for or have a comprehensive framework for crypto projects over there, and that will suddenly be a very large market that is re-entering crypto in a very good way, I hope.
Yeah, I also want to point out the narrative is changing, but for me it's a little bit of an oxymoron that Bitcoin was developed as a peer-to-peer decentralized system, and now we're bundling it into ETFs and selling it in a centralized manner. But of course, on the other hand, for me it's understandable that people like that kind of investment because it gives the traditional security, and it could also help to create institutional adoption, and the narrative is changing. So Bitcoin energy is not so much a topic anymore because traditional institutions and governments are benefiting from it.
Yeah, well, I see actually something that wasn't mentioned here. I was at COP28 in Dubai, and then there's a COP this year, and then COP's going to be in Brazil next year. Carbon credits. That's something that they all agreed on this year in COP. And you had my lady Millie earlier talking about these different projects and social good and blockchain for good, things like that. I think that this is also a space to watch, is the ESG space and the carbon credit space, because now that's agreed. And what a better way to track, your carbon credits and your ESG goals than with a independently verified blockchain, especially if that can be decentralized. So these are very interesting developments. And you mentioned the USA, my country, and the soon-to-be second-time president, Donald Trump. The Donald, right? Now, I don't think Donald Trump is necessarily pro-crypto. I think he's pro-Donald Trump. But he was at Bitcoin. We were at Bitcoin. We didn't interview him, but we've had RFK on. We've had Andrew Yang. We've had other people on, Hester Pierce. The view in the States of Donald Trump winning is for crypto is huge. Yeah, Gary Gensler, the SEC chair, has already resigned. Yeah, boo. You know, if you were smart, you would have invested in Doge or Cardano or Bitcoin before the election if you believed that Donald Trump was going to win, especially Doge. You have a soon an upcoming government department run by Elon Musk that is called Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. And so you got now crypto being embedded into the society. However, people think, oh, Trump's going to be great for crypto, and then we're going to ride the waves of Trump. But what else is Trump saying? He's going to tariff China. He's going to make tariffs at 100% on this and that. He's going to tariff Europe. He's going to tariff this. So he's playing a different game of chess as well, and crypto is just one small part of it. And then one of the things that the Bitcoin thing that he said that they were trying to, all the Bitcoiners in America, and we've had them all on our show too, Michael Saylor and all these guys, that the Bitcoiners that say, oh, well, the U.S. government is going to buy 25% of or a million Bitcoin or something like that, and then they'll have that as a reserve. And then BlackRock's going to buy another 25% of the Bitcoin. And then I was thinking, I don't know, man. It feels kind of weird for me that the U.S. government